Hello and welcome to Ears for Dragon, a Eragon reread podcast. I'm Charlie, I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Nick, also one of your hosts.
I'm Sian. And today we read is it chapter 3 or chapter 4? Are we going with chapter 1's prologue, right?
Chapter 1's the prologue.
So we've got chapter 3, Dragon Tales, chapter 4, Fate's Gift, and chapter 5, Awakening. In my notes it seems I figured out that my numbering was wrong in the middle there, so both of them are labelled as chapter 5, which confused me for a second, but that's okay.
Fate's Gift isn't too much of a chapter, but we'll get back to that.
Yes. So we start off with Dragon Tales. Eragon arrived home from his hunting trip last night and is awaking. He gives us a really lovely amount of detail on the amount of random pieces of trash that he has on his bedroom shelves. And he lets us know that today is the 16th anniversary of when his mother arrived back in the village, well, pregnant, and didn't tell anyone what had happened to her over the past 6 years. So we learn about that. And then after he was born, she left again, not telling anyone where she was going. We get to meet his cousin Roran, who Eragon loves a whole lot. And who is very embarrassed that Eragon has told Horst his message to Katrina. He's so embarrassed by it. It's
like, how can you do this to me?
Yeah. And then they farm for 9 days, and then there's a blizzard. The traders are late in arriving, and they are worried that they're going to have to buy all their supplies in town and are going to have a very hard time getting through the winter. But then, just as they're about to give up, the traders have arrived. And they are all in town. They've got very ostentatious tents, but there's a lot fewer people than there typically is when the traders come to visit. And it's obvious that they have been having a pretty hard time of it, and everyone, including the women, are armed, and their children have like a sunken look or something. You know what happens when you're a fantasy little boy and something goes wrong in your life?
You turn into a Victorian,
and you turn kind of grey. There is a trinket. This isn't very important, but there's a trinket trader, and his name is Murloc.
I think that's important.
Like the guys from World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
Well, it's not very important, but his name's Murloc, so I'm just giving us a moment. And he tells Eragon and Garrow about what has been happening outside of their tiny little town, and that is that the Urgles have begun migrating from their... I believe that they typically lived kind of north of everyone, and they are now migrating towards the Hatterack Desert, which is in the east.
Yeah, southeast, I think they are.
Yeah, so they are travelling through a lot of towns and are displacing a lot of towns because they're going through and just fucking destroying everything for fun on their way. In this, he mentions for the first time the reason that this is so bad is because we learn about the Varden, who are a group of resistance fighters in the south, and that because they are doing a lot of raids, the Empire has been taking a lot of men from the villages to go join the army and fight the Varden, and that is why the Urgles running through has been such a massive problem, because there's no one to defend the villages. We get our first little mention of Brom. We hear that he exists and that Eragon considers him a friend, which is funny because Eragon is 15. And he's like, yeah, I'm friends with this old man. And we hear about dragon riders existing for the first time ever. And then in the tavern, we have some traders telling a bunch of Empire propaganda, and the people of Carvahall hate this. They hate it so much because they hate the Empire and they hate paying taxes. So then Eragon leaves the tavern, sees Roran and Katrina kissing, and then Roran says something very ominous about Sloane not liking him. And then they hear in the middle of town, Brom comes in and he basically interrupts a bunch of the traders doing some cool dances and stories or whatever, and decides to tell it's basically government heresy, isn't it?
Extremely illegal.
He decides to tell his incredibly illegal story.
They're the Dragon Tales.
He tells the Dragon Tales. So the gist of the Dragon Tales is that when the Dragon Riders back when they existed, they were a union between humans, elves, and dragons because they had all been warring a whole lot, and it was unsustainable for everyone. So they decided to enter into this union where they would have a dragon in egg would be able to pick its rider, and they would basically be. They were kind of like peacekeepers. Yeah.
And also the king.
Well, no, their leader was like...
I think that's separate.
He wasn't a king.
They were kind of in charge.
But he's not the
They
king
were in
because
charge,
of the
but
dragons.
they were a union of people. They weren't a king.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Galbatorix was chosen as a young lad, or they're like 11 or something when they get chosen, to become a dragon rider, and he was very, very talented at all of the skills and, magic and fighting, combat, but he was incredibly arrogant. And shortly after he finished his training, he and his dragon and some of his friends and their dragons went off on a little quest for no reason, and his dragon was killed by some Urgles, and so was everyone else who was there. But because he was so cool and epic at fighting, he was able to kill everyone else and got away. And went completely crazy, essentially. He began to learn the dark arts. I believe it actually calls it the dark arts, which was fun. He gathers some allies and is able to eventually steal a hatchling from the
dragon nursery.
Yeah, the nursery, I suppose. He and his buddy Morzan, who was described as like feeble-minded or something, began killing everyone, and then 12 other guys came and joined them so as to not be killed, and became his forsworn. So he went ahead and he was killing all the dragon riders, and there's only one guy left, and it's the leader. And he kicks him in the dick.
That's honestly the most abhorrent thing he could have done.
Bill's kicking the dick.
He kicks him in the dick and crowns himself king.
Oh my god.
It doesn't even say that he killed him.
No, he cuts his head off.
It does, yeah.
I mean, Brom is making sure that this is told and preserved.
It's so important
So
that you
important.
know. He kicked that guy in the dick. So Brom finishes his story and immediately leaves. And Garrow says that they're all very lucky to have heard this story because he'd only heard it one time before that in his entire life. And that's Dragon Tales. Then in Fate's Gift, Eragon hits the stone with a bunch of items to listen to the sound.
That's because Murloc was pointing out earlier that it's hollow.
Yeah, but he's hitting it just because he likes the sound
That
of
is
it.
true.
He's doing that for fun. And then it starts squeaking. He's really mad that it's being loud because he wants to go to sleep. Again, he is very very unbothered by clearly magic things happening.
Yeah, he just doesn't care at all.
And then out of this mysterious stone comes a teeny tiny little dragon.
Yay!
And then in chapter 5, Awakening, that was the entire of chapter.
That's the entire chapter.
Yeah, it's 3 pages, I think.
In chapter 5, Awakening, once again, he's being very chill about this. He touches her, and upon first touching her, he gets kind of zapped and gains like a big scar on his palm. She purrs like a little cat.
Yeah.
He's thinking for a bit about how, I really can't keep this dragon, it's so dangerous. But I'll keep this dragon.
But I kind of like her.
He decides basically instantly, I'm keeping this. Haha.
What if I was cool and swag and a dragon rider too?
What if she's super cute?
Well,
And if she gets a little bit bigger, Garrow can't kill her and won't be able to make me get rid of her.
If I only tell them after it's too late.
So then the next morning, he feeds her some dried meat, and
Yeah.
the next morning he goes out into the woods to make her a little nest in the trees, and he puts her in there and he's able to communicate with her to some extent mentally, so he's saying to her over and over again, stay here, and then he goes and works on the fields and is very stressed for the entire day, and he runs back out at the end of the work day with more little rags and towels in case she was cold and sad. And then he has nightmares all night about animals attacking her, and he's so afraid that anything bad will happen to his little baby. And she gets a lot bigger quite quickly, and eventually can't fit in the tree anymore, and he's very upset that she's no longer in the little nest he made, and he has to make a bigger one. He's very like, what if she's cold? What if she's attacked? And then right before he is about to leave to go back to the town to ask Brom some questions about dragons, he tells her that he is leaving, and through their psychic link she says her first ever word, which is his name.
Oh.
Very cute.
So
Very cute.
So that's our summary.
Good recap.
Good recap. Let's get started on Dragon Tales.
Yeah.
Oh man. So at the very
The
beginning of
short list of
Dragon
tales,
Tales, oh yeah,
This chapter is so fucking long.
I like that first we lay out our introduction to male living spaces.
Oh my god, his room is desolate.
It's so no, he's got so many things.
Yeah,
Come on.
He's got
what?
one piece of furniture.
He's got
got a
stone, he's got stick, he's got piece of root that's twisted around and he can stare at it for ages.
He's got a lot of boy stuff. in
Men
his
will
room.
have a cool rock, and that's enough.
Then we'll have a piece of wood and go like, check this out.
Check this out. No, everything.
I find it really strange that he doesn't share a room with Roran. Like, they're supposedly very poor, but they all have their own
They've got a
bedroom.
3-bedroom house though.
It was very convenient though, because if Roran had been in the room when that dragon shit was happening, my god,
Oh,
book
yeah.
over. He would have just killed it with a hammer.
No.
I don't think he.
I think
maybe he
Roran's
would have.
nice.
With a hammer?
It's his signature weapon.
He's
We
got,
don't know that yet.
How does he? He's got twisted bits of wood, odd bits of shell, rocks that are broken to reveal shiny interiors, and strips of dry grass tied into knots.
How does he
Where
have
did he get shells?
I guess maybe
He's got geodes, but like they're in a mountain range, so
Yeah.
I guess he could have geodes.
maybe like river mollusks.
Yeah, I don't know. His favourite item was a root so convoluted he never tired of looking at it.
We
the rest
never
of the
come back
room
to
was
this ever
there.
again.
Bro is bored.
It's got like a dresser and a nightstand.
He also has a wash basin, and he wakes up and immediately drenches himself in water. Also, I found it really fun that he knows the day and hour that his mother arrived.
Why does
back.
he know that?
Yeah.
I just found that like Garrow and Marion gave him way too much detail.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't tell him at all that they weren't his parents until they gave him every detail he could
Oh,
possibly
she was
ever know.
weeping and screaming, and like she's the recollection we get is she's so upset, and it's from Aragorn's perspective. So his adoptive parents were like, oh yeah, your mum was here, and also you're not our son, and she was like wailing and crying and so upset, and it's like, you could have just told him that she left. You didn't have to do this to like probably a 12-year-old child.
They also like double, triple traumatize him by going like, oh, you were left here because your mother thought you weren't good enough. Well, I mean, he comes to that conclusion by himself, and they give him so much detail about his mother and then nothing about the father.
Well, they don't know him.
Well, they don't know.
They have
him.
no
Yeah, she
idea.
wouldn't say anything.
But they know exactly what happened to the mother.
Yeah, and
on
now
that
so
day
does
that
he.
Aragorn got left behind.
And he told him everything. They told him everything. For no reason at all.
Which is just, I don't like Garrow very much.
No, I'm not a big fan of Garrow.
He's a real asshole for like zero. I guess his wife's dead, but like
a lot of
people's wives are
A
dead.
lot of wives are dead, apparently.
Yeah, not very many women in this village. Interesting. I think Horse's wife is alive.
Horse's wife is alive. I think she has another baby at some point. That's what
Yeah.
they're good for, isn't it?
The rest of the wives go over the falls.
Yeah.
We talked about it last
They
episode.
just dunk themselves.
Sick of having babies. I'm over it.
I loved their breakfast of just chicken.
Oh my god, yeah! And he doesn't even say how it's cooked. He's like, there's a chicken on the table. Oh yeah, it's just
Hell yeah.
ripping and tearing.
They're just tearing it apart with their hands, like. And they were talking so much shit the last couple chapters about how meat was so expensive and we're gonna starve all winter. It's like, eat your fucking barley then, bro. You have some barley and
Eat your
squash and a million
sweets.
beets.
You have so many sweets
Yeah, what
in
are
the
they?
field.
What are they farming? Do they say in
Heaps of
this
shit.
one?
They
There's a
do.
ton. Yeah, they
Yeah,
say
yeah.
in their 9 days of farming before the blizzard.
Yeah.
Thank God they got the harvest done before the blizzard hit. Whew. That would have been disastrous. I think
Yeah.
they've got beets and peas.
They have
and
Swedes, but they
Swedes.
call them rutabaga because the author's American.
Ah, right.
That's what a rutabaga is?
yeah.
They're
I thought they were like a
Swedes?
very cool vegetable.
No, I'm pretty sure they're the same
They're
thing.
just a Swede.
Yeah, they
That's so
they got
disappointing.
squash, they got beets, peas, swades, turnips, and beans.
Beans. They're not really doing enough. I don't think they're farming enough carbs. I don't know how much Mr. Christopher knew about farming, but this is like kind of a bad set of crops if you are trying to live through a winter.
They don't seem like year-round
They're
crops.
putting them all in the root cellar. They're not all roots though.
Yeah, like I guess you can preserve beans. I'm opening this shit up. I want to figure out their crops. Okay, that's them and cow.
So I liked learning about the other family dynamics. Well, obviously the adoptive parents not really liking him very much. Well, maybe they did. Maybe Gareth's just like that. But it's cute seeing his relationship with Roran.
Oh, it's sweet how much he loves Roran.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
So Roran's like 2 years older than him?
Yeah,
So he's 17. Or
Yeah,
like
so
just
we
about
couldn't
18.
possibly be closer even if we were blood brothers.
We're absolute besties forever. It's so
nice.
cute. I thought the bit where he like catches him kissing Katrina is so funny. He just walks up and
Like,
like,
oh
oh,
my
you're having
God,
fun kissing your
yo."
girlfriend, idiot. Like,
He's like, yes, my grim manhood.
he talks about, but he basically says if Sloane finds out, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Just so crack up. Like, actually, I do think Sloane's gonna kill you if he finds
Sloane's
out.
pretty evil.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of they're at their breakfast and he's telling Roran about the stone because he was asleep when he got home the last night.
Oh,
And he like rips him from the table. He's like, come show me right now. No, you cannot finish your breakfast.
You can't finish your handful of chicken.
Take that chicken wing with you. You're showing me this rock. And then he sees it and he's like, oh, cool rock. And that's it. He gets bored of it instantly.
Guys will be like, cool rock.
If I was those guys, I would be so freaked out that the fucking sorcerer who teleported it was gonna come get me. Like, he thinks about it very, very briefly at some point. He's like, who sent it? Again, he's like, who sent it? Oh, surely it was for me. And that's like the extent of it.
And like, this has just exploded like a very large
just
section of
killed
the
50
forest.
Yeah,
deer.
this has exploded a deer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care at all.
He doesn't care.
But yeah, I'm such a big fan of Roran pretending to be really interested in this rock so they can go into the bedroom and he can ask about Katrina. It's so funny. He's like, I can't ask this when my dad is here. It's so cringe.
So embarrassing.
Check out, can you show me the cool rock right this second, exactly right now? I need to see it so quickly. So did you see Katrina?
Oh my god, did you do
What do you mean you told Horst?
Oh my
Oh my god, he told Horse.
So I love that. You might as well have sent smoke signals. Like, he's so
Could have told
upset.
everyone in the town.
Like, get out the fucking town crier bell. It's over for me.
I don't think Horst seemed like much of a gossip.
No.
Horst is the chillest guy
I think
alive.
he's just
He's just a
deeply
blacksmith.
embarrassed.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
doesn't matter that Horst won't say anything. Horst knows.
Nobody can know I've got a crush on a girl.
Again, Horst is
Nobody
like
can know
kind
we're
of.
courting.
He's like the center of the town. Is like the
Everybody
blacksmith.
care him.
Everybody loves Horst.
I love Horst. He's great.
People aren't asking Horst for gossip. They're bringing him gossip.
Yeah, they all go to dinner at his house, which is so
Yeah.
They go to dinner at his house, but they haven't been there in like 2 weeks. They just show up to dinner at his house.
They were probably invited off screen, but
It's probably like a running thing, like the day the traders arrive, come on over. But because otherwise they're just turning up like, hey, hope you made enough dinner for 3 extra grown men, which is a
wonder
pretty
if-
big ask.
Yeah. Are these guys like the only like living family that lives outside of the town that are part of the town?
They're the furthest away.
yeah, they're definitely the furthest away. I would imagine there were other people like with farms out on the outskirts, and I don't think Carvahall is like very big. I think it's like 400 people.
But Gareth specifically is like, I don't want to live in the town.
Yeah,
like all these people.
I
All
hate
these
you,
townies.
hoes. They also something that I'm finding is that he's not describing food very often. The meal at Horst is just described as like a hearty meal, and that's it. And I have red wall brain poisoning, so I desperately want to know every single thing they're eating and how it's cooked. And so this was like very disappointing to me.
There's more descriptions of all the other things.
Yeah,
The colours of the cool
He
rocks.
just doesn't care about food at all.
Yeah, the ostentatious tents.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about the
Multiple
traders.
colours.
I love the traders. I think they're so
Yeah.
I
fun.
like the traders.
I like them a lot. I like it's funny that they're very generic fantasy trader.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, I can see the inspiration. It's like you've just seen you just know a little bit of fantasy. So these are the traders. They've got colourful tents but no culture.
Yeah, they're just guys. I thought it was like a good kind of plot delivery of going, hey, it's getting bad out there.
Yeah.
People from the outside bringing information in is pretty cool.
Yeah, like good build up, I guess, to what we're going to see later when he eventually leaves the valley. That was really good. I mean, it was like very generic, but
Well,
whatever.
yeah. Like,
whatever.
oh no, there's bad news from the south.
What do I got about the traders?
I think it was weird that they only come like once a year.
They come twice. We
Twice a year.
discussed
Oh,
this last
twice a
episode.
year,
They
that's
because
right.
they come in winter and spring.
Yeah, like
For no
really
reason.
close
So they're
together.
coming back in 2 months, like. But also there was one of them, Murloc. He's selling a necklace from a lake city,
Oh yes.
from Bellatona, and that is fucking ages away. So these guys are gapping it.
Yeah.
Like the time they have to travel is very small, and I think they're just going up and down the coast very, very, very quickly.
Maybe it's not
Yeah,
like a
and they
loop
got-
track.
And they're going to like little towns, so it's not like they're sailing part of the way to save time
Yeah.
or anything.
It doesn't
because
mention-
they're going to teeny shit towns like Carvahall.
Yeah, Carvahall is like the worst village in the world,
And
and
it's
it's
the
still
furthest away
showing
from
up.
civilization
Yeah.
at all.
It's like hiding in the mountains.
showing up to buy all their grain for a comically low price.
I don't even know how the tax people find them, honestly.
Yeah,
Could you turn that light on?
they just follow the road, I guess.
Yeah.
Eventually get there.
Yeah, oh, that's way better.
And the taxman comes.
I like the description of the two sleazy traders.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh yeah, I've got that. Where are the?
I really loved the description of the like mounted Urkel head in the tavern. Arms like as
I
wide
was so
as
excited about
I
a
did.
that.
man's arms,
I have
and like
a-
that's a person's
That's the
skull.
thing, I have a whole
and they're just
paragraph
like,
of
haha, the only Urkel in these parts is on
like
the wall.
that's a sapient person. You
Yeah.
have like basically a human's head on your wall.
This is like not to bring Harry Potter into it, but it's like how in the Black House they have the severed heads of their dead slaves on the wall.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
they
think they
have
should
their
have
like their house elves,
And
it's like
they put little Christmas hats on them and at Christmas
Oh,
time.
That's
it's
a
so evil.
guy.
It's so evil.
I don't expect.
At least this wasn't their slave. They killed this guy on the road or whatever. But I mean, it's slightly better, I suppose.
Yeah, and I don't expect too much compassion for like orc type guys from a 15-year-old at this point. But I do think it's like literally the next book we get named Urgle characters
Yeah,
who
they
are
get
like
developed
fully
more.
people, and this guy has a head on a wall. I think also their horns get retroactively made
small
smaller.
because that's huge.
Because like that's gigantic. That's
Yeah.
way too big.
Yeah.
How do you fit in a door?
That being the width of a man's arms
Yeah.
for people who are not sitting in this room and can't see the gestures happening. It's described as being very, very big.
Yeah, I have number one Urgle Stan moment written down here. I fucking love them. They're the reason I play Tieflings. I think they're epic. It's so much fun.
Urgles are definitely more orc than tiefling.
They're orcs with horns.
Okay,
How much
yeah.
cooler can you fucking get, dude? They rule.
Orcs.
Secret connection, Hawk Bajir.
No, I'm connecting the dots. Yeah, the descriptions of the traders is fucking horrid. The guy who's described as extremely
my
skinny,
God, yeah.
hard lumps of fat. Hold
The
on.
guy his face is like is like fat and like full of like rancid lumps of fat,
Yeah,
and then
it's
has like a
like-
skinny
it's so
little beanpole
gross.
body. They're described like putrid.
Yeah, they're like
These are just mean, but there's like something wrong
It
with
looks like
them.
this slug
Yeah,
guys
the
kind of
second
thing.
It's just what's wrong with them
What's
is the
wrong with them?
vampires.
Oh, and he's bright red as well. The second man had a florid face. The skin around his jaw was dry and corpulent, filled with lumps of hard fat like cold butter gone rancid.
This doesn't happen to people?
He's got a disease. Contrasted with his neck and jowls, the rest of his body was unnaturally thin. This dude's like a Funko Pop.
This does not happen to a human for no reason.
No, he looks incredibly
Well, it's
fucked
because
up.
he loves the king.
And the other guy is just like a big baby.
Well, it's because he loves taxes.
Yeah,
and as you know, taxation is
Pretty crazy of Carlini to put that in when he was 15 years old.
I wonder if an American wrote this book. This is so weird.
15-year-old American, like, fuck taxes. It's like, what do you know?
Anything.
You never paid a tax.
I guess his parents are publishers, so he's heard them grumbling around the house.
Well, actually, no. Americans are very aware of tax because GST isn't applied on the price tag. You have to pay it at the counter.
And they have to manually do their taxes every year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I guess
so
the GST
silly.
depends, like, between states.
Yeah, it depends between states. So you're really aware of how much tax you're paying, which I think is silly.
Yeah.
I never think about GST.
Yeah, I think this might be like a really bad take. I don't know. The less you know about the taxes you're paying, I think the less angry you get about it.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think thinking about it less means that it doesn't feel like much.
You kind of just
And
take
also
it for
the fact
granted.
that they have to like pay their taxes like as an action.
Yeah.
It's not just done for
It's
them.
not just a bonus section. No, like it's bonkers. But it's also so funny that he's so aware of taxes and he's 15 and he hates it so much he wrote it into his
these little
fantasy book.
village guys definitely hate the government because of taxes.
Yeah, they are.
The government doesn't do anything good for them, and
Yeah,
they
they're
charge
so far
taxes,
away.
and that's what's evil about them. It's like that guy's a mass murderer.
Yeah, that guy's a serial killer.
That guy's like insane with evil magic.
Oh, and he has
a serial killer.
A slave dragon
There's a
also.
slave dragon. He could blow up your house
With his mind.
He's actually doing dark magics.
Yeah,
there's the-
but he does taxes, and that's the
That's the
problem.
worst thing
The
about
fucking
him.
problem.
Yeah, there's a section in there that's like talking about how the grain merchants are taking them for a ride and paying them way too little. And I was like, why does this isolated farming village rely on money so much? Because like, if you're a primary producer of goods, then like surely you can just do equivalent exchange trading.
Yeah.
But then I read on a little further, and it was like, oh, the taxes. The tax man is coming, and you've got to give
you have
him
to
crowns.
pay taxes and crowns. How else would they buy their trinkets from the trinket trader Murloc?
That's what I have. I understand coin being necessary for secondary stuff like metalwork and cloths, stuff that can't be produced in Valley, but like it didn't make very much sense to me that like they're freaking out because coin's low when we just saw an incredibly bountiful harvest. But the king is going to come get his dragon on you if you don't give him your 5 crowns. So it's over.
Well, 5 crowns doesn't seem to be very much.
Yeah, that little necklace that he was
3
spinning around
crowns,
was
which was a week's meat or something.
which is no, not even that.
Wait, maybe the money doesn't really add up very well.
Oh,
you
the
know?
economic system in this book written by a teenager doesn't make very much sense. Well, no, I think the Sloane was offering him 3 crowns for the stone, which was really insulting.
Which is ripping him off.
And
Yeah, but he said I could only get a week's meat for that much money.
I
So
see.
a week's worth of meat for 3 men is about 3 crowns.
That's an expensive ass necklace. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I love the propaganda guys. I think they're so
Yeah,
funny.
I love that they're there saying propaganda and everyone's like standing
Booing
in a
and
circle
hissing.
like boo.
We hate you. I love
We hate you.
Aragon's based anti-imperialist moment.
Wait, Aragon's talking to the barkeep.
We're gonna hit you with items off screen once Aragon leaves.
We can't do violence in front of the child. But yeah, it's kind of like a based 15-year-old poems at cringe traders in the like marketplace of ideas moment. Like he's like, stop, debate me about this right now.
Bartender Morn is like, these guys are going to fucking die.
Yeah, he's like, they're gonna
I gotta stop this.
Later.
He's doing nothing to stop it.
He's like later and walks directly into an alley and sees his cousin kiss Regina.
Oh, it's so funny.
I love that Roran's 17. The fact that he's 17 and he's like,
I should be married on
should-
the morrow.
I desire to be married within the next few months. However, there'll be blood between me and Sloane once he finds out.
So you're twice Sloane's size. You can just like slam dunk him into the concrete. It's fine.
He doesn't have smithing skills yet. He only has farming
You're
skills.
right. He's not strong enough.
I'm not sure he ever gets smithing skills. I'm not sure why he gets that hammer.
Why does he get the
but
hammer?
he has farming. He's only got farming skills, so I guess they could
Yeah.
hit him with a hoe.
No, he's in the little village, up the river for like a couple of months doing an apprenticeship.
Yeah, but not yet.
Maybe he
I don't
takes
know what
over the
he's
smithing
apprenticing.
apprenticeship.
He's not apprenticing in a smith though. I don't remember where, but he's farming there as well. I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was doing smithing. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm pretty sure he's just like working at like a windmill or something. Not a windmill, but he's working at a regular mill. I think.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Windmill.
I think maybe it was a mill, but like when I was a kid
Yeah.
reading this, I didn't know there were regular mills, so I thought it was definitely a windmill.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
A regular mill is on the water, right? Or do you just walk around?
You can put like cows.
Yeah.
You could have oxen mill it. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us have ever worked in a
I've
mill.
never milled grain before.
No.
We need to get on that stat. I found there's several mentions of like gods in this chapter and the next one, which I thought was really weird because they're like never mentioned by name. There's no major religious system like ever brought up. Like nobody's going to like church or temple or whatever.
No.
Which I thought was like kind of a missed opportunity for fleshing stuff out. Like in a world, like in a fantasy world, you kind of expect there to be like an established pantheon, and like it's analogous with like medieval times basically, and people were crazy religious back then. So like if you're like a little farmer and like praying to the rain god is going to help your harvest out, surely you would be doing that a lot.
Like maybe coming from religious America, you're not writing about a lot of
that's
more
what I was
gods.
thinking. Maybe he was like, fuck God, I'm not putting this shit in my book.
Yeah, I don't know Christopher Paolini's like religious.
I keep thinking Mormon, but that's because
alignment.
Michael talks
It's
about
not alignment. You don't call it a religious alignment. I don't know.
affiliation.
Affiliation.
I don't know. That's not my business.
But yeah, we're thinking about Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, we've
Oh
got
my
a big Sando head in the house, so we hear a lot about him and how Mormon he is. But yeah, I keep thinking that Christopher Paolini is Mormon, but I think
I
he was
don't
just
think
being
he
weird in his
is.
backyard for no reason.
No, he's
Yeah.
not from like the area that Mormons are in.
Oh, the state they control?
Or like any of the little other
Mormon
areas.
ethno-state?
Utah, dude. Have you not heard about this?
Is it Utah or
No.
Ohio?
It's Utah.
Okay.
Ohio just has other problems.
Ohio's got someone else. There's another group in Ohio, I think.
Is it the Seventh-day Adventists?
I think so.
Yeah, I think those guys are... I can't remember. I don't know about
They're the
all the
Jehovah's
sects.
Witness.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Anyway.
Yes,
We don't know anything.
we don't know anything.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about this. Maybe you guys do, but
I think I know the most, but also not that much.
I don't know, the cults aren't in Aragon, so
Yeah.
let's get back to the
I
book
wish
or
there were
something.
cults.
I
in
wish there were
Aragon.
cults.
Oh my god!
aren't there?
I mean,
I think that in later books there's that horrible little cult who are into the Razak, isn't there?
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh my god, and they're such total freaks.
Yeah.
bro, that's this book.
It is,
That's-
yeah.
They go to the Razak Lair this book.
Yeah, they go to the lair, but do they go to the cult? Or is the cult
The
when
cult's kind of
Roran's
milling
there?
around at the bottom of the. I can't quite remember, but they are the most fucked up guys in all of
Yeah.
anything.
I
They
think
are
cults
so
are also
scary.
a pretty staple fantasy villain group.
and they're fun.
They're fun.
Yeah, it's a cute
It's
your
like-
little villain cult.
What if you worship the god
they're
but
the
evil?
mini boss on the way to the villain.
Exactly.
It's the dragon cult at the bottom of the mountain with the dragon on top.
Oh, hell
Exactly.
yeah.
What else have I got? Oh yeah, there's we get the first mention of the Varden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I
He
really.
doesn't really have any opinions.
He's
on it.
he's kind of centrist about it. He's like, oh, well, the Empire's kind of bad, but the Varden, I don't know.
They're probably out there
He
killing, I
can
don't
have
know.
opinions on them. He's just like, yeah, I guess they're out there. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yes.
There is the
It's not
line-
like he's like, oh, it's bad that they're violent. Even he's just like,
Like, I don't know, they
guess
don't really
they
affect us.
exist.
Yeah, he's
Who cares about them? This is our town.
yeah, he's kind of a very uncurious and like unaffected protagonist. He's kind of just walking around like, okay,
Yeah.
this is all happening to me.
Things are happening to him.
Yeah, there's a line, little was known about the Varden except that if you were a fugitive and had to hide, they would accept you, which is hilariously obvious foreshadowing. Again, which
Yeah.
I think is a real strong suit of this book, is just being like big flashing lights and arrows.
Remember
like,
this one.
way,
We'll come back to this
way.
later. Remember the Varden. Remember to the south. And
Remember the Varden hate Galbatorix.
they hate Galbatorix.
Who's so
there's-
bad.
And
So
they
bad.
perform raids, which means that they have fighters. Think about this.
Keep it in mind. Also, Brom's the only person I think who is ever described as Eragon's friend.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking
He
funny.
doesn't have any friends. He doesn't even mention anyone else close to his age except for Roran and Katrina at any point. But this old man's his buddy.
Yeah.
This old man's friend.
Yeah, he's 15 and he's best friends with an old man. And like,
But he seems kind of over him as well. It's like fucking
Brom
Brom.
again. But I guess he's never been to school, so like, I guess he wouldn't know that many
Yeah.
other young people his age.
He's just
But,
kind of
like,
being sent out to the
Goes
wild.
to the traders every couple times a year. He doesn't like scamper in the streets.
Well, he sees those other, what are the young Carvahall boys wrestling in the snow and feels no inclination to join them.
like,
Ugh, youths
Ugh, yuck.
wrestling.
What are you doing?
I'm
in
on the
this
cusp
slush?
of manhood.
Yeah, he's
this
literally
slush.
almost a grown man, so...
Yeah, he would never.
Yeah, what I've got a line about wanting more meals. I thought the like kind of environmental stuff was really nice, like how cold it is and like just having, I don't know, the feeling of going to a winter fete and it's all like people huddling around
Yeah,
fires.
I
and
like the
stuff.
description of winter.
Yeah, it was
like
a-
a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, kind of a good like
Yeah.
background character.
chestnuts.
The roast chestnuts and the little hot
God, I
cherry
want roast
pie.
chestnuts. They're so good.
Bro, we can just get some chestnuts at the market. We can air fry them.
I don't think you can air fry a chestnut. I'm not sure.
Don't ease it in there and he can hear you. Did you
You'll come
have
bursting in with a
Poppadom incident?
message.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I came out and the kitchen was completely full of smoke.
Oh, it was that bad?
You
Oh my
can't just
God.
bring this up on the podcast and not tell the incident.
Oh yeah, so we recently got an air fryer because
Clearly we do own an air
clearly
fryer.
we do own an air fryer. Our beloved flatmate has been wanting one for ages because he loves to do recipes he sees on TikTok. And another flatmate was making poppadoms and she usually does them in the microwave. But we've got a fancy new gadget in the kitchen, so she put them in the air fryer. But the element is completely uncovered at the top of the air fryer. And poppadoms are a very light food, so they kind of just got convectioned straight into the extremely hot element and then set on fire. Thankfully, nothing got damaged, but it was horrible in there for like an hour or two. I think everything's okay now, but they're just going back in the microwave.
Yeah, very responsible.
Oh yeah, I just got that. It's very cozy and cute. Oh, I have Brom.
Brom.
Yeah,
Brom shows
very
up.
big.
Yeah, let's talk about Brom.
Oh
Yeah.
Well-
please talk about Brom.
I haven't really written anything about
There's not really a lot about Brom
I've
just
only
yet,
written plot
actually.
notes here.
Yeah, well,
I haven't really put my thoughts on anything.
He's described as looking a lot older than I kind of assumed he was. He's got like a long white knotted beard that's like
Yeah.
going right down his chest. He's like bent over and wizened, and I kind of assumed he was in his like early 60s, but here he seems like really fucking old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Well, he is really
Obi-Wan
fucking old,
from
right?
sequel series. You know?
Yeah, this is Star Wars fantasy.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, that was strange to me because I've got Jeremy Irons staring at me from the cover. So I always
He's a
Oh,
lot
they
younger
de-aged
there.
and sexified him?
yeah,
They took
Brom's
away-
really
they shaved
sexy
him.
in the movie. They kind of shaved him. He's got a little
He's
beard
got like a
going on.
goatee.
Snipped him.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
always imagined Brom as like this kind of steely older guy, and he's just like he's
He's
like
a cranky
a
old
bent
man.
over wizard.
Decrepit.
Like, it's really
He
funny.
like steps up those little steps. Everyone's like, "Oh, is he gonna make it up there?"
He's like wobbling. Yeah, I've got notes about his story that he was telling, which like that the attempt at like old timey style storytelling is kind of clumsy, but like
Yeah.
I find it really endearing because it is hard to write like old legend style like prose.
Yeah.
I've tried it many times in D&D and it comes across kind of whack. So like it's not super easy to write something like that. But he is talking for 2
It
pages
is.
straight.
His hands have been described as talons.
Oh,
He spread his arms with hands that reached out like talons and recited thus.
Yeah, he kind of gets an evil description a little bit.
everybody does. Nobody in this book is described as being like a normal person.
I think maybe Roran's normal person.
Yeah.
We have
Hang
got
on,
no
they
physical
don't have,
description of
they
Roran.
don't
I
have
thought we
any
did.
music. I'm seeing this right now.
No tunes?
Oh,
No.
yeah, we got
the
jokes,
minstrels provided
plays.
music and narration. Doesn't say anything about
Yeah,
what
we
kind
were
of music.
Yeah.
we were discussing kind of pre-recording about how there were no instruments described in these books, but I guess he doesn't know any.
Okay, just is like, there's some music.
Fuck it, there's
playing.
drums and pipes.
Maybe
or
the
whatever.
elves invented music.
They put
Probably.
a Yui boom out there.
Blasting hyperpop. Let's go. The story about Galbatorix is so funny. He's such a gigantic asshole.
Yeah.
How do people not know about this story?
Because it's like
Oh,
Galbatorix.
wait, yeah,
Elf.
because he's the king and he's not telling anyone
Yeah,
about
you
it.
can't tell it. Yeah,
You-
everyone else died.
Guys, you can't tell everyone that I'm
it's
fucking insane.
I don't know, 4 people knew the story and told it to 4
Yeah.
other people. And
Yeah.
that's only the people who know in the world.
Let's put it into context. If the Prime Minister of New Zealand was 100 years old, or had been in power for 100 years, and had killed everyone who knew about how they rose to power,
And the internet didn't exist.
the internet didn't exist, and also you lived in a little isolated village.
The only news you get is from traders who come twice a year.
Exactly. I think most people wouldn't know about his evil, cowardly rise to power.
Yeah, I think most people would not assume that Jacinda had killed all of her opponents in armed combat.
Well, she did, and we saw it on TV. No, but I think, he just kind of, I think, probably should have just killed himself. I don't know. If my dragon died...
It's kind of like he wandered the west, like, oh, I hope I am killed and die. But
I'm
then
too
was
good
also
at fighting.
trying really hard
not
to survive.
yeah,
the whole
it's bro, if you
time.
hope you are killed and die, just kill yourself.
I hope I am killed and die, but all these Urgles are just puny and I can beat them so easy
Yeah,
without thinking.
but I'm way too good to get killed by an
I'm
Urgle.
so
I can
strong.
beat them so easily, and also I'm subsisting on rats that I find on the floor.
I'm
and
eating ice.
you can just not.
I feel so fucking bad for Shuriken, dude.
Oh, Shuriken.
man.
He
And
is,
his name's Shuriken.
and his name's Shuriken.
It's not Shuriken.
It looks like it should be
Yeah,
pronounced
It's Shuriken.
It should be
But the
pronounced
first time I
Shuriken.
read through it,
Yeah, I thought it was Shuriken, but I'm literally flicking us to the
Get to that pronunciation guide.
right now. Here we go. Shuriken.
Shuriken.
I think he's wrong.
Emphasis on the
shrew.
shrew.
Yeah, he's not much of a character right now because right now the reader and Eragon don't realize that dragons are sapient.
Yeah.
But his whole life fucking sucks
It
so
sucks,
bad.
dude.
Badly.
And he's like the saddest guy on the planet. And I
Yeah.
feel so bad for him.
I am also looking at this pronunciation guide, and we've got Allegazia emphasis on all caps gay in the middle.
Can I see that, please?
Allegazia.
Hey, Zia.
Oh my god, do you think Carvahall has a pride festival? It's just like one guy.
It's Brom.
Only gay in the village. It's Brom. I'm sorry, Nick, but we have proof that it's not Brom. Well, you know.
Well, you know.
He doesn't need to be a homo to be gay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I misread Shuriken as Shuriken for my entire first
Yeah.
read,
Yeah,
so-
that's
Because
reasonable.
it would be a cooler name
be a
for a
much
giant
cooler
epic
name.
black dragon.
Yeah.
I'm at the rowing star, baby.
Shuriken.
I was kind of confused by the tale as to what the climate was like in Allegazia, but then I realized the whole thing wasn't shown on the map because he goes north and it gets very cold. But then Dueldenvarden is described later as being like a temperate forest, and that's like as far north on the map as it shows you. But I guess there's more of the
just
world
keeps going.
that keeps
It just
going.
keeps going.
But like, why did he even go on that quest? Like, it says he goes on a little quest, but all that's up there is ice and Urgles.
I think him and his guys wanted to go kill some
with 2
Urgles.
friends.
That doesn't sound like the behavior of a peacekeeping
Yeah,
dragon
it
rider.
says-
This guy might be
It says
evil.
they passed into the Urgles' remaining territory. Like,
Yeah.
they're being pushed back.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'm gonna go even further and kill them
yeah.
for
Fuck
fun.
these guys.
I think maybe in this book, the Urgles were a lot less developed.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think he
Yeah.
he comes around in what's the next one, Eldest, and goes, oh holy shit, wait, they're people.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of Urgle stuff. There's a lot of really cool. Oh, obviously we'll get into it when we do that book.
I don't remember anything about the Urgles, to be honest.
I'm obsessed with them, so I do. But they have a lot of really cool, like, cultural nuance and stuff like that. And their women are huge and sexy. And I think they rule.
Speaking of being obsessed, first mention of dwarves. Fuck yeah.
You need to pick a guy to love. Get into elves
sorry,
or
the elves
something.
are kind of dull.
Yeah, we can't.
No, I'm into that elf bitch who turned into a tree. I remember what her name is.
Yeah.
It's not Nvidia.
It's
It's like Merlin or something like I don't know.
It's Meryl.
I think it starts with an M. I'm not sure. I love the werecat. I love him, but his name's dumb.
Oh, yes.
But someone bum's a stupid name, so
Yes.
I can't stand him because his name's dumb.
His name is Bum. Poor guy.
Yeah, you can't even shorten it to Solemn because that's dumb also.
Solemn's better than bum.
It is. But his name's Solid. Is it in the pronunciation guide? Is there like
I
an
hope so.
emphasis?
All right. So
Massively
another thing in the Dragon Tale is that the riders have the strength of 10 men.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're jacked.
10 doesn't seem like
Doesn't seem
a
like that
supernatural
many.
amount, you know?
Yeah, it's like the riders had the strength of 10 men, which is like 2 elves or something. Like,
The elf riders must be like bulked to shit.
what if they're being equalized? And
What
the
if it's
elves are like, man,
exponential?
what if I was getting the same buff you're getting?
Yeah, what the hell? I'm just kind of strong.
I'm just you're the strength of 10 men. I'm the strength of like me and one other guy. This is unfair.
sucks.
Like, if this Dragon Rider was so strong, why didn't they just send 11 guys after him?
Because he got 13 guys.
Yeah.
True. That's a lot of guys. Oh, I feel sorry for Morzan, you know?
I don't. Fuck that
He was
guy.
he's a weak-minded
Maybe he shouldn't
guy.
have been so feeble-minded.
He's so feeble-minded. He got tricked so bad.
I think
Clearly
it's really
evil
funny
man.
that there's another guy who he tricked as well and killed for no reason, and we
Yeah.
don't even know that guy's name.
Yeah, Morzan's an actual idiot. Galbatorix is like tricking this guy and then murders him and then goes to another dude like, hi, do you want to join my evil little cult? And he's
Don't
like,
look over there.
don't look at the corpse of my past accomplice. And he's like, yeah, okay.
I'm reading it right now. Together they treacherously lured and killed an elder. When the foul deed was done, Galbatorix turned on his ally and slaughtered him without warning. The Driders found him then, with blood dripping from his hands. A scream tore from his lips and he fled into the night.
He screeches like a banshee and then flips.
Yeah, and he hides in the wasteland.
He was so good at hiding.
For literally years, and then finds Morzan, who's strong of body and weak of mind. The stupidest guy ever.
Why did they not, like, find him?
Yeah, how was he so good?
He doesn't even have a dragon.
Had he
doesn't
even
have
learned
a
the
dragon.
dark arts yet?
And, like, you have magic spells. Just get him. This could have all been avoided. Dragon Riders sucked. Oh, I also love that Brom is clearly crying in front of everybody. And then
And
leaves.
Very
this isn't
attached.
suspicious.
Anyway, ending the story with the king being kicked in the balls
Oh
and
my
dying
god.
is
Can I read
cherry
that?
on top.
Yes.
Where is it?
I've got it. Only Vrail, leader of the Riders, could resist Galbatorix and the Forsworn. Ancient and wise, he struggled to save what he could and keep the remaining dragons from falling to his enemies. In the last battle before the gates of Doro Arabea, Vrail defeated Galbatorix but hesitated with the final blow. Galbatorix seized the moment and smote him in the side. Grievously wounded, Vrail flew to Utgard Mountain where he hoped to gain strength, but it was not to be, for Galbatorix found him. As they fought, Galbatorix kicked Vrail in the fork of his legs.
Oh,
With that
man.
underhanded blow, he gained dominance over Vrail and removed his head with a blazing sword.
Oh my god, imagine your 1,000-year dynasty being destroyed because you got kicked in the dick.
You got kicked in the dick, and then even the guy who's like, yeah, Vrail is telling everyone you got kicked in the
There's like tens of
he's
people.
like, yeah, Vrail, Brew Galbatorix.
He
But
did die because he got kicked in the dick.
His dick did get obliterated before he was beheaded. He was beheaded before he was
You
beheaded.
just said he was defeated, bro.
Yeah. So, like, Vrail's the head of the Dragon Riders, but doesn't seem to be the king. But Galbatorix
Yeah.
kills him and says,
I'm king.
Now I'm king.
And
And
everyone's just like, okay.
just like, oh, well, I guess he
well, he
kicked
just
that
killed
dude in
all the guys who
balls,
kept
so-
them safe.
Yeah, true. All the peacekeepers, huh?
I don't think the Riders will like kill kings or anything. It's just they had a sick hangout and he made it his king castle after he killed them.
Yeah. We spent a long time in Dragon Tales, but we're going to go for a brief respite talking about Fate's Gift.
Which is the shortest chapter ever, and starts out with Aragorn playing that egg like a fucking glockenspiel. He's just hitting it with any tool he can find.
No, he's laying out 3 tools next to it. He set it out on his bed with 3 tools perfectly aligned next to it.
Yeah, he's got a mallet.
Not sure who tells us what the 3 tools are.
Yeah, he's got a wooden mallet, a heavy leather hammer.
Oh,
and
a small chisel. Yes.
Do you think that's the one that Roran needs repaired in town later?
Broken.
I don't know how this happened, but
I hit the magic rock with a chisel and
The trader told me that not even a diamond could scratch it, but I thought
my chisels were
chisel really hard. It made a very satisfying noise.
Murloc had some knowledge of, like, this is a dragon egg, or he thought it was just something cool.
he did not know.
Not a
He
dragon
knew
egg.
it was hollow and that it had been made with some kind of insane tools that he didn't have.
Yeah.
Or magic, I think.
I think he thought it was magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why he wouldn't take it, because... Oh, yeah,
Who am I selling this to?
Yeah, they go to Murloc and try to sell the egg to him, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this. No way. And so they're all very put out.
Even if you give it to me now, I won't sell it until we leave, and you won't get your money till I come back.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of freak is going to buy this, so... and Garrow's pretty grumpy about that. But, yeah, this chapter's very short. Not a lot happens. Oh, he has, like, a bunch of questions about, the magic that sent it to him, and then he gets over it very quickly.
He has a whole paragraph of internal thought about, like, what does this all mean? These are the facts I've got. I'm putting together the pieces, except whatever.
Yeah.
And he puts all his stuff away and goes to bed.
He also, so the stone starts making noise.
The rock starts squeaking. He's like, oh my god, what is it? Then he finds out it's the rock, and it's like, fuck this rock.
Fuck this thing, whatever.
Got back to sleep.
Yeah, my notes are like, the stone wakes him up by making noise, and he goes, ugh, let me sleep. He's so 15. He's like, fucking, I don't want to be awake at 3 a.m.
The stone had given him nothing but frustration and anger, and now it would not even let him sleep.
No, fuck this stupid
It
rock.
ignored his furious glare and sat solidly, occasionally peeping.
Yeah, so it's like it's squeaking, and he's so over it, and he goes back to bed. And then later he wakes up with the moon shining through his window, which means he has no curtains, which means the fucking killer is coming.
Well, more importantly, it's winter. He's freezing
to death.
in his little shack. Well, no, it's a 3-bedroom home.
Yeah, it's
quite
a
large.
beautiful
But
estate.
still, his window is uncovered, and it's winter. We've been over this. There's been a blizzard.
It's gonna be so rough for him. Yeah, basically he gets really mad at the stone, and then it starts moving, and he's like...
He swears.
He swears and is like, I'm gonna go bury this, fuck this thing.
He jumps out of the bed with his knife, like, I'm gonna beat this fucking rock.
I'm gonna kill it. Yeah, he just, like, is so unfazed by the fact that the magic stone that got, again, teleported to him in the forest by a wizard.
Also, and he's concluded it was for him, to him.
Yeah, it's moving and making noise, and he's just pissed off that he's, like, not getting
I
a good
can't not
night's
to sleep. Couldn't even sell this fucking rock.
Fucking bury it in the pit.
And then suddenly there's a crack as it falls on the floor. And then
Oh,
there's a
it
crack.
falls on the floor and wobbles towards him, and he's like, oh shit, this rock's gonna kill me.
Yeah, and then it cracks, and then a dragon comes out, and he's like, whoa,
Small,
a dragon.
wee baby cute dragon.
She's so...
Oh.
So little.
Sorry,
we
sorry,
don't know it's sex.
Do you want to hear?
Explicitly.
Do you want to hear the?
So that's Fate's Gift.
Yeah, that's Fate's
Moving on
Gift.
to
Literally, a
Awakening.
rock
Yeah.
falls off a shelf and then breaks.
Hell yeah.
You like
cool
to hear
gift.
the passage where he tries to sex this baby
He's like
dragon?
picking her up and rotating her.
It struck him that he did not know if the dragon was a he or a she. He lifted and turned it over, ignoring the squeals of displeasure, but was unable to find any distinguishing marks. It seems like it won't give up any secrets without a struggle.
Oh, Saphira is so fucking cute in this chapter. Awakening is the...
Nameless little baby dragon.
Yeah,
Nameless baby dragon.
is the only part of the book where she's not like a full person with like the ability to speak and like a mind. She's just like a little cat and
Yeah.
she rules. Yeah, I always loved how like cat-like the dragons are in these books.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just a little baby. She's so cute. Oh, and the fucking ordeal he goes through after he touches her for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like full body agony for several minutes, and he's like paralyzed.
Yeah.
And he thinks to himself, it's been hours.
Yeah.
A blast of icy energy surged into his hand and raced up his arm, burning in his veins like liquid fire. He fell back with a wild cry. An iron clang filled his ears and he heard a soundless scream of rage. Every part of his body seared with pain. He struggled to move but was unable to. After what seemed like hours, warmth spread back into his limbs, leaving them tingling.
He's got this permanent scar on his hand.
That's such a like...
It itches and burns like a spider bite. It sounds a lot worse than that, sir.
Yeah. Like, major pain for any person is really, really traumatic, but he's like a kid.
He's 15.
And this is a severe ordeal, and he just gets up and goes, okay.
Well, that was
Whatever.
weird. Anyway, cool dragon.
Cool dragon.
He's like freaking out, then he feels something in his mind.
Yeah, that would be
and then he goes
so
back and
scary.
pets
Like
her
a
again.
finger trailing over his skin is the description of like her mind touching
That's so
his.
horrible. Yeah, he's like in unimaginable agony and was like, I'm gonna try that again.
Just a double check,
Just double check. And then it's okay. I want to know who that
Oh, actually, no,
scream of rage is
she
from.
rubs up against him, is how they touch again.
So cute.
She rubs against his leg. Or his
Yeah,
side.
the-
No, he's prone on the ground. She's rubbing
like,
against
"Hi."
his side.
I'm... Is the, what is it? The soundless scream of rage, is that her?
I think it might be. I think that she's mad that he's in pain.
Aww.
Because I'm not sure who else it would be. No one else is
It's
ever
just like a
in
psychic
his
scream,
brain.
yeah.
I read it as her being mad to, like, be bonded to someone, but I don't... That's probably
But
not...
she chose to hatch.
Yeah, exactly. That's like... Yeah, it is
You didn't want to be bonded to this guy.
You shouldn't have had. You should have just stayed in your egg. What else? This chapter is not a lot happens, but it is quite
It's
long.
quite
He
cute.
raises this little baby.
It is. It's just so
Yeah.
sweet.
She
She's like,
feeds him some. She touches his mind to let him know that she's really, really hungry.
"Oh, please give me strips of dried meat."
And he gets up with a sigh as if she's literally a cat going.
He's so over it so quickly. There is a literal dragon in front of you, and you're like, "Ugh, you want me to feed
He
you?"
argues
She's
with himself for like
literally
10 minutes.
wailing at him, and he's like scratching her head, like, "Please shut up."
Yeah, so he goes like, well, I could kill this dragon. Or I could, like, be the coolest hero of all time, just like the stories.
He's like, "I could kill this dragon, but I really don't want to."
He's like, I could kill this dragon, but she is curled up next to me, purring right now.
Yeah. Oh, I could get rid of this dragon, or my family and myself would be put to death, and likely my entire town as well by extension.
Oh, Jesus.
But what if?
The simple
if we hung
solution
out?
was just to kill the dragon, but the idea was repugnant, and he rejected it.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, what could betray us? We live in a remote area and have done nothing to draw attention.
Oh.
Dun dun dun!
Oh,
Yeah.
this is so hard though. This dragon's eaten a whole handful of meat.
Oh, bro, she's about
She's
to eat.
like round with it.
Yeah.
She's so fat and then she falls asleep. It's so cute.
You know what? Thought it would be too large for Gary to get rid of it. Will he accept it?
Yeah, he just like goes into the woods and built her a little house, which is so
Yeah,
sweet.
and then he's
a little nest to
he's
begin
freaked
with.
out all day. Like, what if she's cold and brings a bunch of new rags to her in case she got cold in the day? And she's like killed a bird, and he's like, oh thank God.
Yeah. There's a line in here that says, "After all, it's only an animal," which I think is like, it's so crazy that people don't know that dragons are people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes sense.
He has a higher than standard level of dragon knowledge due to Brom not shutting up about dragons.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
But
like not a
he's
lot
still-
of dragons around.
There
They're
are
all
almost
gone.
none.
There's
Yeah.
some wild
There's
ones
some wild
left,
ones,
I
but that's
think.
it. And
Yeah.
they're like ages away. But like, I think it makes sense as like a propaganda
Actually, I don't
thing.
think there's even wild ones.
There's a couple.
No, I'm pretty sure
No.
Word of God, the Galbatorix went and killed the wild ones as well.
I think we see wild dragon, or maybe like a destroyed nest. I know Seraphina. No,
Saphira.
Saphira. Sorry. Saphira goes somewhere and gets really sad about it.
Yeah, but I don't think there's living wild.
Yeah,
wild
Galbatorix specifically goes and like,
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, he goes and
I am a
kills the wall.
dragon. No one else can.
Maybe
have.
There's the secret rock that no one can find and knows about, and it's full of eggs and souls.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's why he didn't. I feel like he's like not letting the information that they're sapient
Yeah.
disseminate, because everyone would be like, well, didn't you kill all of them? Didn't you, like, genocide these people? Wait a second.
Like, no, they're just animals.
No,
It's
don't worry, it's like a big
fine.
cat.
They don't feel pain.
They don't feel pain. Oh my god, people about fish for like
Just
ever.
beasts.
Yeah, she kills a bird and eats it, which like such an invasive predator moment.
There's
Absolutely.
a really big description on the impact she's having on the local environment.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've got dragons must have such a huge ecological impact, and also as they like were completely wiped out, like
Are you
the loss
calling
of.
her an invasive predator?
She's-
This is reintroduction. This is bringing the wolves back to Yellowstone.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not sure if they lived in the Spine. We have proof that they lived like in the mountains in De Weldenvarden, but nowhere else.
It's right next door. They have got wings.
You don't understand. But yeah, also the loss of such a major predator would have been like
100 year.
yeah, only 100 years ago. The ecological cascade from that
You
is
guys kind of like a long time for it. No, I mean a long enough time for a lot of impact to go on.
yeah,
Yeah.
like things would be that's why there's so many fucking deer in the Spine. It's because there's no
Yeah,
dragons
because
left.
the dragon's eating them. She's fixing it.
No, you're right.
There should have been more wolves.
There should have been. Yeah,
He's
no
having
mention of
nightmares
wolves.
about wolves. No, he's
I
having
think there are
nightmares. His dreams are full of foxes and black wolves tearing at the dragon with bloody teeth.
Yeah.
He's really scared.
I like
see.
the image of like Aragon just Professor X like mind beaming, stay here, stay here, stay here. Do not go to the farm.
He's so mad
walks
about
away after that and like there's no way that it understood that, but walks away anyway. I love him putting a little leash on her and then being like, hang on a second, I gotta fix this, and making it into a harness so she doesn't strangle herself.
She's like the size of a chihuahua.
I think she's already bigger than a
No,
chihuahua.
she grows really
She's
grows
the
quickly.
length
really
of a
quickly.
forearm upon hatching. She's already as big as a chihuahua, if
Holy
not
shit.
bigger.
Yeah, she gets to be the size of like a small horse in like a
This is
month.
over a month, yeah.
Which insane, like the amount of food
She
would have to
doubles
be
in
eating.
size in the first week. 4 days later, as high as as his knee, and then he has to spend 3 days making her a new hut.
So Aragon's acting real weird this whole month.
So suspicious.
So suspicious. Does all his work, not complaining, then runs directly into the forest.
Just to go hang out, whatever.
Go ahead. I just need some time.
Mom.
On the cusp of being a man, you know?
Yeah. Doing guy
Lot of
stuff in
pressure.
the woods.
Yeah, it's pointed out that Garrow and Rowan, like, they see this happening, they're just like,
Okay.
weird.
Nobody in this book cares about anything.
No!
They're just like, okay, you're being weird in the
Yeah,
woods,
he's doing
whatever.
Whatever.
Well, you know,
Guys,
sometimes a
don't
boy
do.
has to run off into the woods.
That's very true. Yeah.
And also, it seems like if they went into the woods, like maybe like 2 minutes into the woods, they would start seeing evidence of a dragon being there. And he's just like, well, what can I do about it?
Yeah, there's not a lot really that happens in this chapter. It's just so I almost said Seraphina again. Saphira is growing up, which is very cute. I thought the environmental descriptors were really good. Again, like you really kind of
yeah.
feel the cold. You love her so much. Simply, oh
I
my
like knowing
god.
more about the forest.
But yeah, it's just like a lot of emotional bonding, and it's very cute. But yeah, the front half of this book kind of moves really slowly. Or maybe we
Yeah.
just haven't read that many chapters.
Yeah.
We've read 46 pages.
Good god.
So that's about a tenth of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a chill chapter.
Yeah, and so Roran's about to go to Carvahall
To fix his chisel.
to fix his chisel that Aragon's broken. Maybe. Might be a different
Yeah,
chisel.
and he's decided he'll tell them all about the dragon, but only after he talks to Brom so he can get her a proper dragon's name.
So
Yeah.
cute. What else? What was I thinking? Oh yeah, he like disposes of the egg shards, but I feel like at that point they're more saleable. Like they're chunks of like
Chunks of
probably
cool rock.
yeah semi-precious precious stone, and you could have just
Yeah.
taken those and sold them somewhere. I guess the traders are definitely gone at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, well, he'd have to wait for the traders to come back.
They're coming back in 2 months.
And then Murloc could be like, what did you do? That stone was indestructible.
I hit it really hard with a hammer. Don't worry about it. Why is it covered in goo on the inside?
I like the description of Saphira flying.
Yeah.
She's like just flapping around. I think
So fucking cute.
she's kind of described as having like more bat wings, where
Yeah.
they're like really thin and membranous, and the fingers go all the way to the end.
Yeah.
In the movie, she has feathers, which made me
so fucking
so angry.
I don't think she had feathers.
No, she does not have. They're whatever.
The lizards, they have scales.
If we're going, listen.
All right.
The lizard bird convergence is a lot more muddled than you think.
Not in the Aragons.
No, he does not have a academic understanding of evolution or zoology. This is a big fucking lizard.
He's got a nothing understanding of anything. Aragon can't read. He doesn't know anything.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He doesn't know shit about Buck.
He knows shoot bow. I can't wait for his bow to come back. His bow is one of my favourite characters. He loves it so much.
I can't wait till he gets his horse that he loves.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. Does Saphira get jealous about the horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets jealous about everything.
She gets jealous about his first horse, who he doesn't give a shit about, and then she gets more jealous about the second horse because he cares
Like,
about
I'm
it
going
a lot.
to eat your fucking horse.
Yeah, one of my favourite things I think about
She's
this
like,
first
this
book,
horse is so annoying, I could carry you.
yeah, is like they're both just shitty teenagers for the whole book.
Yes.
Saphira is such a bitch. Like she's so jealous and she's so mean, and I love her for it. She's like one of the funniest characters in anything. So also like I was born 10 days ago.
And you are a dipshit.
Oh my god, she treats him like such a little baby, and it's like he's way older than you.
It's so funny.
And then at the end of the chapter, she says his name. It's very cute.
Cute. Nothing happens.
It was
too much
solemn and
happens.
sad.
Yeah, she really doesn't want him
She's
to
like, you're
go.
leaving me.
I have to go eat a bird about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He runs home as well. He's like, ugh. He's got big anime tears.
Yeah, I was gonna
as he
say
runs
anime crying,
away.
running away.
I'll come back for you, I promise.
White dragon.
I love that he gives her a calming image as well. Like, oh my god, chill out.
You can't come to the town.
Beaming it directly into your brain.
It's so funny. But I think that's us. Next chapter we have, what's it called? What's our readings for next week? Nikki, you are doing the summaries next week.
All right.
We've got T for 2. I forgot there was an index in this. I don't need to flick through the whole book.
We've got T for 2.
The Name of Power. Oh, A Name of Power and a Miller to Be. So I guess Roran is going to go be a
becoming
miller.
a miller.
Why does he have a blacksmith's hammer?
A few short ones coming
He's
up.
just got a big smacking hammer. I'm not even sure it's a black. I think Horst gives it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got what? 9,
like, army
6,
boy, here you
3
go.
pages. We might do 4 chapters.
Yeah, we might do Strangers in Carvahall if we feel like there's not enough content. If we feel like it,
Yeah.
you know.
But next chapter he's going to visit Brom.
Yeah.
His friend Brom.
His friend Brom. His only friend Brom.
His only friend Brom. Oh
He
my
doesn't
god, it's
say
like,
his only friend, but he never mentions another
anyone
friend
else.
ever. So
like
Like
Destiny
Destiny.
is soon. I love that chapter. It's when these books are kind of they're very descriptive about like injury and violence, and that doesn't really start until like that
begins
chapter.
to have injuries and violence.
Typically begins to have injuries and violence, but I won't spoil it, but he gets pretty seriously injured in that chapter.
Oh, it's horrid.
and it's
I
horrible.
can't remember that.
Yeah, bro. Watch out, it's
Looking
coming
forward
up.
to it.
Yeah, so that's our readings for this
Yeah.
week. Good job, guys. We got through 10 pages. I think we got through like 15, maybe.
Well, no, Dragon
What?
Tales
Dragon
is like
Tales
15.
is
by
Dragon Tales
itself.
is 16, I think.
Holy shit. Yeah, it is.
Don't sell us short here.
No, sorry.
Yeah, that was the second longest chapter in the book.
The longest one's like 30 pages, isn't it?
Nah, it's like 17.
That's fine.
One more.
I think in the later books the chapters start getting longer. But in this one it's kind of just very easy. Yeah, and I guess we'll see you all for T for 2 with Brom next week on E is for Dragon.
I feel like this is my predict. I have read the book many times before, but I'm still going to make a little prediction here, which is that Eragon is going to be the most like obvious and least subtle man to have ever stumbled into Brom's house. And he's going to be thinking the whole time about how well
I'm
he's
gonna keep
couching
this
his
so
questions.
secret. He's not gonna know it all.
Brom's gonna clock him like instantly. And then
I hope we get more descriptions of Brom next week.
Brom.
you want to hear more
friends.
about how old he is,
How clawed and decrepit. I do. I think
how he shuffles. He's choosing to shuffle around like that.
Yeah, I think later he throws off his cloak and he's like breasting boobily.
He stands up.
and he's really ripped and strong.
He's just been like.
I'm only
spending
pretending to be weak and feeble.
I'm only pretending to be wizened and hunchbacked.
Wow,
This is the prosthetic
Just
hump.
like that.
prosthetic hump. Just walking around. All right.
All right, let's put it
Fantastic.
away.
See you later.
See ya.
See ya.